Hollywood is a place that is all about their image. The second that a celebrity slips up bad enough, they will most definitely end up on this secret blacklist that Hollywood keeps. A blacklist is basically just a list of people that should be avoided or distrusted when it comes to working with them. It's an important social practice and one that's been around long before Hollywood. When humans lived in tribes, we just referred to the blacklist as excommunicated. Welcome to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host Johnny Rogers, and before we kick this video off, if you want to see more videos about what Ellen's been up to lately, just tap that playlist in the corner of your screen. Also, if you don't want to miss another daily video from us, make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Now, without any further delay, let's get right into today's list of the top 10 celebrities blacklisted from Hollywood 2020. In at number 10, Talia. Actor and comedian Talia just recently was part of the Netflix show called You. In the show, he played a comedian that was also grooming underage girls. Turns out he had just been method acting the whole time. Talia has been accused of grooming and attempting to solicit nude photographs from underage women. Girls, I guess. A woman named Simone tweeted out a screenshot of her alleged interactions with Chris, which began a thread of other women sharing their interactions with him as well. The stories are all pretty horrific considering that these girls were all underage at the time that Chris had sent messages to them, and then on top of that, people close to him like Whitney Cummings have even spoken out against him. With the Me Too movement in full force, you'll be hard pressed to have any female actor or anyone for that matter wanting to work alongside him ever again. In at number 9, Danny Masterson. Danny, who is best known for his role as Hyde on That 70s Show, is recently charged with 3 counts of I don't even know if I could say that. The R word. So far, there have been 3 victims that have stepped forward with separate incidents that occurred between 2001 and 2003. All the alleged crimes are believed to have taken place at his home in the Hollywood Hills. If convicted, he's looking at a sentence of 45 years to life in a state prison. For those of you who don't know, Danny is also involved with the Church of Scientology. After the charges were laid against him, Liam Remini took to Twitter with joy that the victims of Scientology were finally being heard. This is most definitely an insinuation that the church had previously covered up what Danny had been doing in order to protect their image. Although we cannot confirm these claims, it does seem like something that they would do. Back in 2017, he was fired from the Netflix show called The Ranch amid these allegations, and he is still denying any of the claims made by these women, but with that much heat on him, it's unlikely that his acting career will ever continue. In at number 8, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star has always been considered a bit of a controversial figure, but when he took over the world of cosmetics, the stakes were even higher. Although he has had plenty of feuds in the past, it was his beef with Laura Lee that became the most dramatic. To make matters worse for his career, Star wore cornrows on one of his Jeffree Star cosmetic campaigns, and the general public was less than amused. Not too long after that, fellow YouTuber Thomas Halbert made a video about racism in the beauty community and alluded to Star's involvement without mentioning his name directly. Jeffree then responded with text messages that he believed would clear his name, but in return, Thomas exposed Star for blackmailing his friends, which just completely flipped the table and made it a whole new conversation about the kind of dirt that Jeffree might have on certain people. Apparently, he had actually made a compilation video of YouTubers being problematic behind the scenes and would threaten to expose them if things didn't go his way. Well, now things are definitely not going his way, and he's for sure ending up on Hollywood's blacklist. In at number 7, Ellen Degeneres. Ellen just recently has fired 3 of her most problematic producers that had allegations of abuse against them. However, I highly doubt that this action will end up redeeming her in any way whatsoever. Thanks to that Kevin Porter tweet, thousands upon thousands of people have come to the realization that Ellen certainly has a mean streak. Part of what keeps people working in Hollywood can largely be attributed to how easy they are to work with. Now, with Ellen having this long rap sheet of complaints, it's hard to imagine that Hollywood won't keep her off their blacklist of celebrities. That being said, Hollywood's blacklist is more like a timeout until the bad press blows over, and then they usually try to bring these celebrities back into the fold again. I mean, look at how off the rails Mel Gibson went, and he's still acting here and there, right? Mel Gibson's still acting, right? He did some bad stuff. In at number 6, Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett used to be known as the musician Jamal Lyon on the Fox drama series called Empire. At the start of January, he had gone to the Chicago police to report that he had been assaulted in the early morning hours. He claimed that 2 white men wearing MAGA hats attacked him in the middle of a polar vortex, I should mention that, and uttered racial and homophobic slurs at him. He then claimed that they poured bleach on him and tied a rope around his neck. Although after the police investigated the case, they found that Jussie had actually paid 2 Nigerian American brothers who worked as extras on Empire to help him stage this attack. Near the end of February, he was indicted for disorderly conduct for allegedly paying those brothers to stage the fake hate crime and therefore filing a false police report as a result. This scandal, however, ruined his chances with acting. In June of 2019, it was announced that Smollett would not be returning to the show even after his charges were dropped. Well, they reached a deal with the prosecutors, I should say. He had to pay his $10,000 bond and just do some community service, but he's on that Hollywood blacklist for sure. In at number 5, Shane Dawson. I'm sorry for dragging these people through the mud repeatedly, like Shane Dawson is a perfect scenario for this, especially for this channel. We talk about Shane Dawson all the time, but if Shane doesn't fit this list, then I don't know who else does. Shane had quite the blow up recently that led to the demise of his career on YouTube and in the world of cosmetics and probably any potential for Hollywood. That door has been shut. After partnering up with Jeffree Star, who was just meant to be another one of his documentary vlogs, the two started causing trouble together. They manipulated Talia Westbrook into fighting with James Charles and then played the victim when people found out. Then on top of that, tons of Shane's older content had come back to bite him right when all of this beauty drama started. If you want to watch a full top 10 of everything that he did that led to the end of his career, definitely check out our list on the top 10 times Shane Dawson went too far. In at number 4, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has been branded as the queen of cancel culture. She's become well known in the Twitterverse as always taking shots at Trump and siding with far left politics. That being said, no one is perfect and Chrissy Teigen is no exception from this rule of being a human being. Despite being married to John Legend, Chrissy has largely been cast on that new Quibi app that is just leaking money. I mean, they are bleeding money right now. That app is brutal and it's not going to be around for very long. Nonetheless, her reason for being sort of shadow banned or blacklisted from Hollywood flicks could be attributed to the more than 60,000 tweets that she deleted. Seems a little fishy, doesn't it? I mean, flight logs showed that Chrissy had flown on Epstein's private jet to Little St. James, so as a result, the Twitterati came for her and her past tweets. People on Twitter connected her inappropriate tweets about the show Toddlers and Tiaras to the new evidence that she had visited Epstein's Island. In a bizarre series of tweets from 2011 to 2014, Chrissy tweeted about pizza, going to jail over pizza, and how she really loves watching children, specifically little girls, doing the splits. Really deplorable stuff right there. And I hope she's on Hollywood's blacklist. In number 3, Jake Paul. Saying that Jake Paul is a menace to society would be the understatement of the year. This guy was even once crowned as the reality villain for the YouTube generation by the New York Times. To add to his Scarface image, if you will, was the recent raid on his home by the FBI. At just 23 years old, his YouTube channel is just filled with pure stupidity. Paul's early involvement in the Hollywood scene was with the show Bizarre Vark, but after he was fired by Disney, his life became pranks, vlogging, and jumping on news vans. The LA Times reported that his house was raided by the feds after he was found to be in direct connection with the looting investigation in Arizona. Although the police didn't come out with any stolen goods, they did find a ton of firearms. Like a ton. Including this assault rifle that was just leaned up against his hot tub. There is no doubt in my mind that Hollywood will never hire this guy again, and on top of that, he has to be blacklisted by now. In number 2, Nick Cannon. After a recent episode of Nick Cannon's podcast called Cannon's Class, Viacom CBS decided to fire him after he promoted hateful speech and spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. In response, Nick said that he doesn't condone hate speech and his words were meant for the oppressive and racist infrastructure in America. Nick Cannon, best known for his marriage to Mariah Carey, also created the show Wild 'N Out. However, that show will be coming to an end after 15 seasons. You can tell that Nick is going to be blacklisted by Hollywood though after Viacom released this statement. While we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism and we are terminating our relationship with him. Last but certainly least, in our number 1 spot, Kevin Spacey. Kevin for a long time was by far the most demanded actor of his generation. Like, that's an irrefutable fact. You can just look through his history of films and be like, this guy was in everything. His library of roles was huge and his fame made the actor seem untouchable, or at least he thought. Then an actor named Anthony Rapp came forward and accused Spacey of forcing himself on him when he was only 14 years old. Following that, 15 other men came forward accusing Spacey of a similar experience. His career was cancelled at that point, but Kevin found a way to make things worse for himself. In his apology, he took a moment to come out as gay, for which the LGBTQ community denied any association. As a result of these accusations, Spacey was fired from House of Cards and was removed from the film All the Money in the World. Safe to say the only acting work he'll be doing is on his YouTube page. But there's no doubt, like most of these people, there's no doubt in my mind that we will never see Kevin in Hollywood ever again after his heinous crimes. Ever again. I took a second to think about it and I was like, no, never. That'd be wild if they let him back in. Wild. With that, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled Top 10 Celebrities Who Joined OnlyFans. Radical Rainbow says, I wonder how long it is before Zuckerberg buys OnlyFans. It's probably only a matter of time at this point. I bet he's just waiting to see if it works. But with Cardi B joining, I mean, that may have sparked his interest. Who knows? Maybe he likes WAP. We don't know. Ella Rose says, all the celebs need to do this. Put the money and rights back in their hands, no more middlemen. 100% Ella. I love this direct way of interacting with fans between artists and the general public because it, like you said, it takes out the middleman and puts more money back in the individual's pocket. I mean, the music industry for decades just was trashing artists with this middleman BS taking all their money. OnlyFans, I hope, will not succumb to this. Savage Mama of 3 says, I don't know, but if you go back to the last few years of Johnny, he does move his elbow back and forth, his left one like a ping pong every time he moves his arms and goes back to clap position. It's like a boat rocking back and forth, but it's cute though. Well, as long as it's cute, right? I just love that someone turned it into a drinking game. I mean, how about you take a shot every time I say the word nefarious? Nefarious, nefarious, nefarious. Okay, we gotta stop. Aunt Ann says, Johnny, please say hi to my auntie. She's a big fan of you and thinks you need a haircut. Her name is Dolly. Oh, hi Aunt Dolly. Very nice to meet you. I think I need a haircut as well. Looking like a bit of a hippie, but I don't know. My hair hasn't been this long in a while, so I may just keep it. Sorry, Aunt Dolly. Sorry to disappoint you. Another family member disappointed. Mr. Nobody says, I want to see Johnny Rogers on OnlyFans. I'm gonna have to do many more sit-ups before that day comes. Before I ever get an OnlyFans. This core has got to be tight, and then we can charge higher rates on my OnlyFans. But we'll see. We'll see. I might not have to do that. I might not have to do that unless I get fired from this YouTube channel. Then the OnlyFans is coming. And that has been the top 10 celebrities blacklisted from Hollywood 2020. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our editors for all of their hard work. If you enjoyed this video, then please show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, don't forget to leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on today's list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From Top 10 Beyond the Screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, and until next time, stay classy.